Hey everybody, this is Josh.
What's up? It's Tut.
And so recently online, the plot, it seems, for the Wolverine 3 has leaked online. So we're covering it in this video today. We're gonna kind of like paraphrase, go through it. So we have some bullet points going out throughout the whole plot. So we're not reading it word for word. It will be linked though in the description and the comments. I don't know how long it will be up because it's a thread on 4chan, but you know, hopefully you guys can see it before it's gone. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So it takes place, and we'll give our thoughts after it's done. We'll just kind of just go through it just to hammer it out. So it takes place 10 years after Days of Future Past. There has been a war between humans and mutant kind that's one of the effects of it is the United States government is gone. It's been toppled. Weapon X is restarted and created to find new ways to kill mutants. In kind of combination with the Essex Corporation, and Logan lives alone in a cabin in the Canadian wilderness, refusing to not only use his claws but be referred to as a Wolverine. And we don't know why yet, but eventually Iceman comes to Logan's cabin with a bunch of resistance fighters, asking for his help in transporting Weapon X's newest asset, and they want to bring it to Professor X, who is located in a place called Mutant Town. Now, the asset is revealed to be X-23, which is, as a lot of you guys probably know, the female clone of Wolverine. And Weapon X forces soon arrive, though, at Logan's cabin, I should say, and killing the resistance fighters. Iceman sacrifices himself in the process, and X-23 and Logan escape. The Weapon X forces are led by someone called Captain Knox, who reports to somebody called the Director. Now, Weapon X begins tracking Logan and X-23, even using a Sentinel to do so. And the Sentinel does find them, and they're able to use weapons to subdue both Logan and X-23. And during this, while they're captured, Knox reveals that Weapon X used mind-manipulating drugs on Logan to cause him to basically see all of his allies as enemies. And in the process, Logan killed a bunch of X-Men, including Cyclops, Beast, and Rogue, at the X Mansion before Professor X was able to stop him. And basically, after this, Logan's able to free himself eventually, and he frees X-23 also from Knox, and a chase scene kind of occurs. And the way it ends is by they destroy the Sentinel, and also there's a bunch of other damage too. But the main thing is that the Sentinel is destroyed. So Logan and X-23, they begin bonding while they resume their journey to Mutant Town. And they talk about their similar backgrounds, and Logan tries, reassuring her. Kind of like this is played more of a father-daughter-like dynamic, it seems, than like a brother-sister dynamic, which is kind of interesting. Because usually it seems like they have a brother-sister dynamic. But it seems just kind of like the Logan-Rogue dynamic from X-Men 1 and 2.
Which they reference.
Yeah, they do reference that. Now, while they journey the mutant town, eventually they do get there, which I thought was interesting. I didn't think they'd get there until like the very end of the movie, but they do get there, like it seems like halfway through the movie, it seems, or a little after half. And they meet with Professor X, who it seems they have a kind of strained relationship from what went down, but it's not like super strained, it's just a bit strained. They're like a bit hesitant around each other. We learned that Essex Corporation started the human mutant war by framing mutants through weaponizing certain superhuman abilities. Now, they want to find the Weapon X main base, the XX Corporation main, kind of base, so they can get the evidence for this and release it, kind of clearing mutants' names worldwide to stop this war. And which, honestly, on the surface, that sounds great, but that's not really enough to really stop a war that's already been started. But anyways, Professor X, using X-23's mind, kind of searches for Weapon X's base, kind of doing his mind-probing stuff. And during this mind-probing stuff, unfortunately, a guard at Mutant Town, a guard/commander at Mutant Town, ends up being a sellout. And he goes full Brutus traitor mode, contacting Weapon X, which leads to a raid on Mutant Town, and X-23 is captured and all this other stuff. And X-23 is taken to a facility called Crossmore, which luckily Logan and Professor X are able to find out, and they head over to go there. And while at Crossmore, Knox is torturing X-23, which actually prompts the first emergence of her claws, and also kicks her healing factor in full gear. Because before they mentioned Her healing factor wasn't all that, as you would think it would be, considering Wolverine's healing factor. But this seems to kind of really kick her mutation into gear, and she kind of gets her powers, you could say. And she starts fighting back, and eventually she actually kills Nox. And during this time, too, Logan breaks into Crossmore, and we find out who the director is, which, if a lot of you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably saw this coming, but it's Sabretooth, who X-Men Origins is still canon, and in this universe, they even mention, like, there's a part where Professor X goes to Wolverine's mind, and we see, like, Silver Fox's death and Jean Grey's death and all that stuff, and a bunch of timeline shenanigans that Wolverine went through in Days of Future Past. So they're still brothers. Wolverine and Sabretooth are still brothers in this timeline. So after some words from Sabretooth, who at this point has revealed himself as the director, Logan gets so mad he pops his claws out for the first time in years and just kind of goes into like a blood rage mode. And he slaughters tons of Weapon X soldiers. They say in this plot description, this is where the rated R part really kicks in, because Logan gets so savage that even X-23 gets scared. In X-23, so they have like a brief fight, but she's able to calm Logan down eventually. And X-23 goes to free the captive mutants that SX has, while Logan searches for Sabretooth. And Logan eventually finds Sabretooth, fights Sabretooth, eventually winning that fight by encasing Sabretooth in a bunch of adamantium. So kind of a nod to Death of Wolverine, sounds like, right there.
Exactly.
Logan dies himself, though, in the flames. They say he just kind of lights a cigar and just kind of smokes it while he's like kind of burning alive, which I don't really know how to imagine that, but he kind of just embraces death at this point. I get argument for it is that his healing factor at this point isn't as fast as it used to be, so he's actually able to burn alive nowadays. Because my first thought is, well, he kind of resists the Phoenix. So like you would think that normal flames wouldn't really kill him, but anyways, which also begs the question: did he kill Jean Grey? Like how? But anyways, Professor X and his group of mutants and Resistance fighters, like obviously they all know about this. X-23 regroups back with Professor X and the Resistance groups, and they begin planning to rebuild. Obviously a big part of that's in Logan's mind. Professor X references the fact that this is the second time Logan has risked his life for the future, doing a nice little nod to Days of Future Past. And just so everyone knows, also, this is Patrick Stewart Professor X too. This isn't supposed to be McAvoy Professor X. And from here onward, X-23 adopts the name Laura, and she also has Logan's Wolverine dog tags. So it's kind of hinted at that she'll be the next Wolverine. However, according to this person, the after scene credit it shows Sabretooth still encased in the adamantium, but it shows like claw marks out of the facility, and we hear like Logan's claws come out one last time. Like they don't show it, but we hear it, and it's heavily implying Logan's actually still alive. Which makes sense, because I was thinking the whole time, like, yeah, if Logan was able to resist the Phoenix Force, like flames and stuff, there's really no reason he wouldn't be able to resist regular fire. I mean,
yeah, the way I read it, it seemed like it wasn't even fire. I think it was like he was getting crushed because the building collapsed on him. Yeah, like I think I'm like picturing him lying down, smoking his cigar, just expecting to get crushed, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't get crushed."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I thought it'd kill me, but it didn't." So what are your thoughts, man? Like, to me, it sounds like there's a whole lot going on.
To say the least, there's a lot of stuff going on,
because it definitely sounds like they go a lot more in depth, obviously, in the thread. So I recommend all of you guys check it out.
Of course.
But honestly, like, I'm a little worried, man. Like, it seems like they can really kind of get crushed by just how much is going on in the story. You know what I mean? Like, they're definitely embracing the rated R-ness of it, which is, I mean, great. It's happy they're doing that. I know Hugh Jackman's really happy about that, and the director's really happy too. Sorry for all the X-Men Wolverine fans, though, or not X-Men Origins fans, but just Wolverine fans in general. Doesn't look like you're gonna get the costume again. So sorry about that for you guys. Doesn't seem like we're getting Dakin either.
Nope.
Which, I mean, it doesn't really suck because not that many people really like Dakin.
Love or hate him.
X-23 is the better out of the two potential successors, in my opinion. So it's really cool we're getting X-23 though. Who they cast as her, I don't know. I hope they get a younger actor or actress to cast because she's supposed to be really young. I've heard people say like Emily Blunt, things like that. And I'm like, Emily Blunt's a great actress, but I think she's a bit old for X-23.
Not for like no 18 or 16 year
old.
Yeah,
because I would really want like X-23. Like at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, they have like the X-Men. Like they have Cyclops, Jean Grey, like all of them, like Nightcrawler as the X-Men all together. And X-23 would be someone I would put in there because she's like a teenager still. Like she's like in that age group. So I hope they stick with that. Mm-hmm. But all in all, man, like I don't know how you feel about the whole like his healing factor is really low and stuff because they kind of did a similar theme and like a similar like not really theme, but they did a similar thing in the Wolverine. So
yeah, it's very. In the Wolverine, it kind of seemed like it was pretty much turned off.
Yeah, well, yeah, they turned it off. But I mean, in this one, like, it seems like it's so slowed down. It's like it might as well be turned off at the. Like we know he has his adamantium claws back and stuff though. Like he goes through the Weapon X procedure, and supposedly they show a bit of that in X-Men Apocalypse, and they show him breaking out. I'm cautious, man. Like if they pull it off, awesome. But at the same time. This on paper sounds really complicated. Like it sounds like there's a whole lot going on. So God only knows how they are able to actually handle it when they film.
I don't think. When I first thought about it, yeah, there's a lot going on, but at the same time, it's one thing to read it and it seems like a lot, but then visually seeing it happen, it could be like a minute. Like it doesn't seem like there's all that much going on when you think about it that way. I like the character development we have for X-23 throughout the entire thing, going from like this emotionless machine to this like we described it before, father daughter, and confident and just knowing how to feel and not be afraid anymore of what she is and what she can be. Going back to Wolverine, I think it'll be interesting, but I don't know if it'll turn people off, and we're gonna see a lot of Wolverine doing not Wolverine things. Like he's gonna be kicking ass, but no claws. He'll be doing it all stealthy, soldier-like. We're not gonna. It won't be till like the end do we really get that brutalness.
Yeah, I fully agree.
That people have been wanting for a long time.
We're gonna wrap this up because we're approaching 13-ish minutes, and we don't want to take too long, obviously. But definitely, everybody go check it out if you're interested in hearing a more in-depth version. We really paraphrase and just kind of went over the main stuff that happened. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean. It sounds like Hugh Jackman and the production team are really pumped for it, and they really want to make a good movie. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to hear casting news on X-23 because it's basically like confirmed at this point that even if this isn't the plot, X-23 is in the movie. So that's really my thoughts on that. Comment below in the comments, obviously comment section with your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think? Are you excited? Who would you cast as X-23?